Okay, morning everyone. Today's task is all about chocolate. Oh, that's gone a bit blurry now. All about chocolate. It's an open-ended investigation. And that means you might approach it in different ways. That means it's also probably going to be a little bit confusing at times, but it's using knowledge that you all have. So let's just look at the challenge, the investigation. I've got a classroom with 3 tables in it. And on those tables, on table 1, there is 1 bar of chocolate. On table 2, there are 2 bars of chocolate. And on table 3, there are 3 bars of chocolate. As you've guessed, this challenge is about chocolate. And we're just going to pretend that everybody enjoys chocolate and wants to have as much as possible. No one is worried about obesity or diabetes here. Right, there's a room in the school with these 3 tables. And outside of that room, there are a class of 30 children waiting to come in. And those children are going to come and sit at one table. They're going to enter one at a time. So they've got to decide which table are they going to sit at. The chocolate will be shared between everybody on that table, but it's not going to be shared until all 30 children are in. So that's quite easy for the first person. They're going to make their decision. So person 1 might go to table 3. Person 2 might go to table 2. Person 3 might go to table 1. But as we go on, they're going to ask themselves this question. If the chocolate on the table I sit at is to be shared out equally, when I sit down, which would be the best table to sit at? Remember, the chocolate's not shared until everyone is in the room. So we know the first few people, it's quite easy. But as we have more people into the room, it's going to get trickier. So there might be, by the time child 9 arrives, there might be 2 people sitting at table 1 with 1 bar of chocolate, 3 people sitting at table 2 with 2 bars, and 3 people sitting at table 3 with 3 bars. Well, for child 9, that means they've got to really think. If they go to table 1, that means there'd be 3 people altogether. So the 1 block of chocolate would be shared between 3 people, and I'll only get 1/3. If I go to table 2, that means there'd be 4 people altogether. So the 2 blocks of chocolate would be shared among 4, and I'll get 1/2. If I go to table 3, there are going to be 4 people altogether. So the 3 blocks of chocolate would be shared among 4, and I'll get 3/4. So what's more chocolate? 1/3, 1/2, or 3/4? 3/4 is the biggest. So I'm going to go to table 3. Now this is going to get trickier as each extra child enters the room. What I'd like you to do is think about which table each child up to 30 would sit at. I don't mind how you want to do this. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that pupils have done this in the past. So you might want to write down the options for each child. You could do it a little bit like we've done here, where for each child you could say child 10 would go to, and you might even list all 3 options. Table 1, where they would get this percentage fraction. Table 2, where they get this fraction. Table 3, where they get that fraction. And then you could just record your final answer. Child 10 would go to table 3 and receive 1/4 of the chocolate, for instance. You might want to draw it out. That might get more tricky. You might want to draw it out for each child as they go. You might want to draw it out as it changes. Or you might want to use a table. And what this person's done is just had for each table the different fractions as you go. So table 1 with 1 bar, if there's 1 person, they get 1/2. There's 2 person, they get 1/2. 3 person, they get a third. 4 person, they get 1/4. 5 person, they get 1/5. And then you use that to answer the question for each child. I'm going to let you decide how you want to represent this problem, but I would like you to have a go at working out which table should all 30 children sit at. It's a tricky one, but I know that you're all capable of doing it. Enjoy.